Hi, my name's Abbey, this is my dad, and this is my sister Rebecca. Today on Cooking with Abbey, we're making falafel.
Yummy falafel balls, for pitas, so good, so tasty, that taste of Mediterranean-ness. We like falafels?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's probably one of our favorite snacks, I think, but mostly a summer thing. I feel as though we don't really make it in the winter. Not snack, dinner, yes.
Or lunch.
In a pita, out of a pita, with rice, all kinds of good stuff. We have made these at home with varying success many times. This recipe is different in the sense that we are starting with dried beans. And I figured probably a good time to start with dried beans because many of us have dried beans in our pantries and we don't always. So we're gonna do it with the dried beans. We soaked ours overnight and they grew and they swelled up, right? Remember I showed you the difference of the two? So the difference here is that we actually didn't cook them. We're gonna cook them as we cook them in the falafel, right? These chickpeas are just dried, rehydrated them. We didn't boil them on the stove afterwards. We're just gonna puree these. I'm sure I know you can do this with canned chickpeas. When you do it with canned chickpeas though, definitely need to add an egg and probably double or triple the amount of flour. But I highly recommend trying the dried option. I think it's gonna be a great success.
Why do you have to do it with, why would you have to add more ingredients with a can?
Interesting question. So in a can, there's more moisture in the chickpea. So when you fry it to get that crispiness and that shape, you need to add more flour and yolk. That flour and egg, the egg is gonna bind it together and the flour is gonna dry it up a little bit. I was gonna ask you a question. Where can people find the ingredients for today's recipe?
Here or at cookingwithabbey.com.
Shall we get started, Rebecca?
Yes.
Excellent. Our chickpeas are in our food processor. As I mentioned before, we have this fancy pants one. You do need a food processor for this one, people. Doing this by hand, kind of not an option. I guess you could, but given that our chickpeas aren't cooked, they're really hard, so I think that would suck. We rinsed our chickpeas. That is to say, we drained out the overnight water and then we just ran them under some clean cold water, or hopefully it's clean water, right? I hope it's not dirty water. We ran it through until the water came out clear. And now comes the most complicated part of making falafels. We take all the ingredients except for the oil for frying, and we put them in here. Go! So we got parsley, coriander.
Can't lose any.
We got onions. We got flour. We got garlic. So much garlic. Yummy garlic. If you don't have pre-chopped garlic, just plain old garlic is good.
And our spice melange.
And our spice melange, which is awesome.
That I just destroyed.
That you just destroyed. We're gonna put the cap on. Now, when it comes to pulsing, people, guess what we're not looking for? We're not looking for hummus.
Arrow?
We're looking for some chunks, kind of like cornmeal. We'll show you what it looks like. So we're gonna pulse this a few times.
It's
and then,
not snapping.
It's not snapping. Snap! Little brute force. Pulse away. Wow.
Is it on? It's on.
Pulse away!
It's not pulsing.
Now, what did we do?
They're
Please stand by while we experiencing technical difficulties. What is going on? Did we break our blender?
No. Is the blade in there?
Is the blade in there? I hope the blade is in there.
No.
Please stand by. After having resolved our technical difficulties, we are now ready for the most important part of blending our food together.
Pulsing.
The pulsing or the blending. Pulse away. So an important thing to do is when you're pulsing it, ours is almost at capacity here, but we still have some room. Get in there. Oh, it smells so good. You're looking for this consistency a little finer than we've got going on here. But what you want to do here is you want to come down to the bottom a little bit, bring up that stuff that's been in contact with the blades so you don't puree that and have sticky stuff at the top. But that's okay, because we're going to finish pulsing this off. We're going to dump it out into a bowl. Then we're going to stir it around like I just did, but in the bowl to make sure that we fully incorporate everything. And move the big chunks around and the more pureed stuff at the bottom. And then, guess what, guys?
Another melange.
Not another melange. Then we have the waiting game. So we want to wait. We want to get all these flavors to incorporate. So we're going to put this in the fridge. In addition to flavors incorporating, it allows the mixture to cool down. So we're going to put it in the fridge for an hour or two. you know, whatever you got time for, and then we will come back and we will fry them. Bwah. All right, so we're gonna pulse away, and then we will see you in 2 hours.
Bye.
And we're back from our time warp. Warp?
Warp.
Warp! Apparently I cannot speak. I lost my speech in the time warp. Apparently we're a little giddy today. Our beautiful falafel mixture here has been chilling nicely in the refrigerator. We are going to form some balls. We have options at this point, people. We could just form them and put them directly into our oil. We're gonna do it like this, mostly because our fryer is kind of noisy. So I wanna show you guys how we form the balls beforehand. So take a golf ball. You're gonna compress them quite a bit. They're a little moisty, but that's cool. You're gonna smush them together. You may not be able to roll them before they lose their shape. Other ways to do this is, squeeze them nice and good together. Do they have to be perfect spheres, people?
No.
You know
I
why?
actually like it not perfect.
You want to try form one? Boom.
That?
Yeah, it might be a little too much. You know why we don't really care what shape they are? They don't taste any different. What you're looking for is less on the counter, more in your balls. And you want them to form nice, compact. Yeah, you gotta squeeze together more than that.
Give this look at the juice.
Yeah, a little bit of juice. You like it, juice?
Not
So we're gonna continue forming these, which is a very clean thing to do. You'll notice we mean business because I took off the rings. We're gonna form these, and then we're gonna preheat our oil on like medium-high heat because we don't want them in the. Once they hit the oil, listen, we're frying these. My glasses are slipping. How do I push them up? There we go. Magic. We're frying these. They're fried. We'll come up with a baked one if everybody wants a baked one. I'm gonna fix this a little bit.
If you want a bake one, comment down below.
Look at this one. So let's not kid ourselves. We're frying them. So embrace the oil. Put a decent amount of oil in the frying pan.
I did it.
And then what will happen is when we put them in, they'll instantly seize up, which is what we're looking for. So we're gonna finish forming some of these. We're gonna get our oil heated, and we will be right back. Our burner is super loud and annoying, so we've got our oil heated. I did a sample one, which we may or may not have eaten, and probably the best falafel I've ever made at home. I think it's perfect. I think the heat was a little too high. They need to spend a little more time in there. It's a good idea to do one practice one like we did. And as you saw, that's why you need a lot of oil, right? Because the second it gets in there, you can toss it around. We're gonna do about 3 or 4 at the same time. And what that's gonna do is, with a high oil, with a high level of oil, it's gonna form the balls right away because they are very crumbly, they tend to fall apart. If yours like just disintegrates right away as you put it in, add some more flour, like a tablespoon or 2 at a time. If they still fall apart, guess what? Add an egg in there, work it up. But honestly, ours right now, they feel like they're gonna fall apart, they don't. Put them in the oil, they sizzle up, they look nice, as you saw, like beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna cook a whole bunch of these.
You'd have to restart if they fell apart? Like you put them all back in the bowl and mix them?
Oh yeah, well absolutely. That's another reason why you don't really need to form them, right? Because we're tweaking it, but we form them because, and we hope for the best, and guess what? The best worked. So we're gonna fry these up now. This is gonna get loud, and away we go. Splashy, splashy.
Don't splash me.
Here, how about I take that away from you so
Yeah.
you don't have to hold it? Fell apart, but you know what? It's still gonna taste good.
No matter what shape or size they are, this does taste good.
So we're gonna fry up all of our balls, if you can still hear us, which I think you can.
Yeah.
And then we'll be right back for the best part. What's the best part?
Eating! And assembling.
Eating. And assembling, actually, that's right. First we get to assemble. That mix makes a lot of falafel balls. You can absolutely cut them in half. The other thing you can do is freeze some of them, whether you form them first, form them after, freeze them. Listen, nothing is gonna taste as good frozen as fresh, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be pretty good. We are gonna put together our falafel sandwiches now. We have the kind of puffy version of the pitas. Any pita works. A bun will also work. We cut ours in half. We made a quick little chopped salad here with some tomato, cucumber, and what else do we have in there? parsley, some lemon. Here's how I like to do my falafels. Take a ball, smush it, stick it in there. Take a ball, smush it, put it in there. I'm of the philosophy that we put 1 or 2 or maybe 3 in there, depending how big we are. You are the master of your own cooking. Can you go over there and grab right behind the coffee that little red jar and grab me a spoon? This is our homemade tahini sauce, which is fantastic. Yeah, that's one. Bring it over here.
I only took half.
You only took half? Oh, you can. Yeah, absolutely. Why take a whole one? Oh, you need some sauce.
My thing's dripping.
Hurry up and eat.
But it's dripping. What's
Come
that?
on, come on, come on. This is harissa. So what is this?
Harissa.
Wicked hot, spicy. Go ahead, take a bite.
No, thank you, because the spicy Doritos are too spicy for me. So.
These aren't spicy Doritos. This is much worse than spicy Dorito.
No, thank you.
I'm gonna put a little bit of the hotness on the other side, and a little of the hotness goes a long way. I highly recommend it though. Has a lot of flavor. Pretty good?
Eat all of it.
Oh, eat all the hot sauce. Pretty good?
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, actually. Again, couldn't talk with my mouth full. I said it before, I say it again. These are the best falafels that we've made at home. They're amazing, they're crunchy, they're dry, they're good, they're flavorful. Experiment if you want more cilantro in there, you want parsley in there. You're the master of your own falafel balls, you do whatever you want. Highly recommend the tahini. Hummus in your pita, pickles, lettuce, tomatoes. What else can people put in there?
Baba ganoush.
Baba ganoush. Anything you like. Mediterranean flavors. They work pretty well. Did I say hummus? I started with the hummus. So, worth making at home?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and hit
Thumbs up button.
and the notification ring ding dingy bell.
See you next week, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
All we've done, so cool. We strained all the water out of our chickpeas.